What's really good on my day ones? Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so vibe with me really quick. Today's topic is going to be a little bit deep. I demonetized this video specifically because I feel like you can't make money off of something like this, and it's very important that we all have a basic understanding of what is going on around us. So if you're not for it, you can go ahead and click out, wait for the next video, but if you want to learn a thing or two, then it's up to you to stay. First things first, I hope you guys are doing great amidst all this COVID slash racism slash the world coming to an end. I'm just kidding. On the real, I wanted to talk about this because this is a lot of people don't talk about this in the healthcare field. And it's important for the ones who know what's going on to actually talk about it and put light to it. In the healthcare field, we don't call it racism, we call it implicit bias. Implicit meaning to say it's intended or it's meant, you know, through your actions. Bias, there's a prejudice toward something that you favor, and it happens quite frequently. To draw illustration, in the healthcare field, we deal with a lot of druggies, and for the most part, they're one of the hardest patients to deal with because they don't listen. There are a wide array of colors: black, white, Asian, you name it. But one thing that I have a hard time understanding is a lot of us have taken oaths, doctors, nurses, CNAs, and we promise to uphold care to its highest standard, meaning say no prejudices. We will not judge you based on your color or whatnot and how we treat you. Yet there are nurses, CNAs, and doctors who I've seen treat patients a certain way, and again, I'm not gonna say no names in this, but I've experienced it. So again, to draw illustration, I once had this patient who was a drug addict. The patient was black, and I had a doctor who did not want to do anything on this patient, and the report was that the patient was not listening, and even the nurses were already fed up of trying to take care of this guy because he just wouldn't listen and he wasn't compliant to his regimen. Little do we know was this guy's backstory. And the one thing you have to understand is when it comes to patient care, you always have to speak to the patient and get to the bottom of what's going on. And sometimes, you know, they may not be listening because it might be a social issue. They might not be able to afford the drugs, so it's your job as a nurse to get them the resources so they can afford the drugs. That's why there's social services. And it's also your responsibility as a nurse to educate. So this patient, again, non-compliant, didn't want to listen. Turns out the patient just didn't have a home to go home to. His wife just died, and none of his kids were really in tune to his care. So everyone kind of abandoned this dude's care. By listening to this dude, I learned that this patient, you know, didn't have the proper resources, didn't know what the hell kind of drugs he was taking, and was on drugs. And that's where you come in as a nurse. You know, that's where you come in and know what your responsibility is. You have to know the proper resources and the proper things that are available to a patient, so therefore they can live a better life. Granted, you know, some patients might have relapses, but again, you cannot give up just because they give up on this patient. And how you imply things represents you as a person. I give my 110% all the time in nursing. And I'm sorry I giggle, so just sometimes I just have easier nights. But when you have a patient, you shouldn't see color. You should always see the patient in front of you and what they need. It's very important to educate yourself about these issues because we all bleed, and when we see blood, it's universal, it's red, and we all have a heart, we all have kidneys, we all have livers, we all have a brain. So that's what complicates things, is some people think too much, some people don't think at all. And you know, I'm not gonna lie, I've had my implicit biases, but I think it comes with age where you start to finally realize that, like, man, I don't have time for this shit. Sorry for my language. Get to a point where you realize that, like, everyone is in the pursuit of happiness, yet someone's always trying to bring you down because of your differences, the color of your skin, your sexuality, the things that you believe in. There is no place for that in nursing or in the healthcare field. You always gotta call people out on that, and I've called out plenty of people on it, and I've lost a lot of friends. That just goes to show who you are as a person, because at the end of the day, it's you versus you, and how you think of yourself and how you think of others. You know, those are the thoughts that are in your head, but the way you project it, you know, it's a totally different vibe with how people perceive it. So that's my 2 cents, and I hope you guys are doing great. And I hope you guys are staying safe above all else. Most importantly, you know, treat each other nicely. That's all it is. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. And above all else, check out these other videos. And I promise you I'll get to vlog hopefully soon, man. This pandemic's effing everything up. Y'all take care.